Have you got an example of, have you ever done anything that's made somebody lose money?
Oh, lose. Oh no, man, I'm perfect. Perfect at my job. Nah, but I can tell you about like people who I've made money for.
Okay.
So if you are an artist, we can go back as far as 6 years.
Okay. So if I drop a track 6 years ago and today I decide that I want to register with you.
Yeah, you will get it.
Right.
However,
what's PPL and what's PRS?
So the difference between PPL and PRS is, so with PRS, it was funny because there was a time when I went out and when we could go out.
Feels like a lifetime ago.
I know, I was just sitting there thinking, wow, I went out thinking, when was that? That was so long ago. And we must have been in Camden, and like, I think like Mark Morrison was in the club.
Big up Mark Morrison.
I know, I love Mark Morrison.
It's classic.
Love Mark Morrison, and like I heard people like, going, oh, Mark Morrison's there, man. Like he's still like popping bottles, like, because obviously.
I would have thought he fell off.
But again, like,
because he hasn't made a track since what, in the 90s.
Exactly. But the reason why I was laughing is because I was like, my man's made Return of the Mac.
Return of the Mac.
Return of the Mac is played on the radio every single day.
Is it? Well, yeah, it would be on Heart and those kind of radios.
It's played every single day. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So this is why I say, don't ever think because someone isn't in the top 10 or hasn't made a top 10 track,
they're not making money.
They're not making money. Like, there's people who have probably not even made a top 50 track that probably make more royalties money than people who are in the top 10. And
really?
That's a fact. Yeah. So that's why it's so weird when people are so caught up with, like you said, Mark, you would have thought Mark.
I would have thought you'd be broke. Sorry, Mark, if you're watching this. But I would have thought so because it was a long time and we haven't seen him do anything since.
But music's timeless, right? So
yeah.
There's a reason why, like, Elvis Presley's and all these people, their estates are still worth millions of pounds because their money, their music's still being played, it's still generating royalties. Maybe not necessarily sales, but it's still generating royalties. So that's why I was laughing at the person, because I was like, you have no idea just because you ain't seen Mark Morrison on top 10 now.
Yeah.
But he's probably making more money from his royalty payments off the one track he did
back in the day.
Back in the day, he probably lived the rest of his life.
He's smart.
Do you know what I'm saying?
He's very smart.
Whereas you've got these artists who are like bringing out songs every day, trying their best to get top 10, doing the most to be on blogs, blah, 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 but still not even generating half the money Mark Morrison's generating. And that's why I said it's so funny working where I work. You get to, like, again, I'm not here to like talk about people's financial situation.
Do you have to sign like a privacy statement?
So yeah, definitely.
Disclose
I can't. My manager, manager just watching it. Go on, say something. Say something. Say something. Like, get you tomorrow. But like with me, it's like, it's just funny because from a royalties perspective, like, I see how much money everyone's making. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Everyone.
I would love to see that. I would love to know who, especially like from the grime and you.
Oh yeah, I see all the time. I would
love to know.
See all the time.
Because in my head, I'm just gonna tell you what I think. I don't, and you can't answer.
Yeah.
But like, I think obviously Stormzy's up there.
Oh, I can tell you Stormzy's gone clear.
Stormzy's,
we all know it. Yeah.
Sky through the sky. Who else? I feel like Nines might be coming up.
Do you know, like, the best way I can word it without getting myself into trouble, is like, you just have to, if you look at it, you've got like your Stormzy's, your Daves, your J Hussies, the artists that, what I would say, kind of transcend that street level, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where you see them in places that you probably don't see any other artists from their culture.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you see Stormzy or Jonathan Ross.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? You see people places. So they're good, isn't it? Whereas you might see some other artists where, like, probably the only place you see them is blog sites and shit, because they're doing the most to get that attention.
Yeah, but they're not quite.
Like, I always laugh at the artists that, like, their Instagram post is them in just like, oh, look at my Louis Vuitton jacket and my Louis Vuitton this. Oh, my ice.
And these times they haven't really got much.
And but look at those artists compared to the artists that I just mentioned.
Yeah,
they don't do that.
Stormzy doesn't do that.
Your Daves, they don't do that.
They don't do that.
Your Jay Hustle, they don't do that. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
They're on a different level.
They're on a different level.
Okay,
do you know what I'm saying?
I'm learning.
So the best way to look at it is when you transcend to a status or to a level, there's certain things you don't need to do because you're nice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
So do you think, so with someone like Stormzy, again, I know you can't disclose too much information, he's obviously got into top tens, he's been banging out tracks that have hit in the charts. Do you think he was educated in that sense to know to get his royalties, or did that come later on when he was big?
When I first started PPL like 6 years ago, Stormzy and his team were like one of the first people that I spoke to. Yeah, I actually look after his account at PPL, like he's hashtag Murky because he's a label, isn't it? So they were like some of the first people that I was like, look, come to PPL, you need to join, etc, etc. So they've always, and it's not trying to say when I say like, you can always tell the ones that are educated because they've had their stuff patterned from day. Their team, like,
they're serious.
So serious. Like I remember I had a meeting about a few years ago. I'm saying a few years because it's like a year's like already gone, isn't it? A few years ago with them, and even I was talking to like their team, so it was like maybe like 6 of them, 7 of them, and if you saw the way they were so like, they all had notepads out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it seems something it's small, but when I say I speak to people, and I'm trying to tell them, they're like, it's like,
it's all kind of.
Do you know what I'm saying? And then they leave, and then a week later they're like, oh, what did I have to do again? What was that? Like,
I hate people like that. I hate people like that. I'm not to repeat myself.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm sitting here talking to you. I'm telling you something really important.
For your own benefit.
For your own benefit, and you're just the man will do that, innit? Yeah, cool. And a week later, it's like, oh, T, what was that? I
don't know why. I just got Heady One vibes when you did that. I don't know why. I can imagine Heady One like, cool. Say no more. I'm going to buy it.
Whereas like when you had those guys in the room, like they had like their notepads. Like, they were like, oh, can you repeat that? Okay, so if I do this, they're just writing everything. Do you know what I'm saying? And that shows, right? Because that team is probably one of the most successful teams right now. In
the urban scene.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, definitely.
And like I said, so for me when I see that, it's no surprise. Do you know what I'm saying? Like all of them, like a good friend of mine, used to go to school with him, Shane, MME. I think he manages most stacks, and like I think he's now he owns his own label with Sony.
Okay.
Dream Life Records. Shout out. Like so, even talking to someone like him, like I love talking to managers like that because they just absorb everything. And I remember I had this conversation with him maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and then I must have been in the chat somewhere and he was talking, and it was good because he was just talking about royalties and everything. Yeah. But he was like, yeah, you got to do this, you got to do that, But I just remember it was off the conversation that because he educated himself. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And we need more people, more like him. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because there's a lot of managers and artists out there now who are so uneducated. All they care about is like the clout and the fame and the showing off, and that's why, again, artists don't stay, isn't it? They're here for the moment because the front of house is great, but the back of house is mash up, and because the back of house is mash up,
they fall flat.
This whole pandemic, again, like I said, there's people that I reach out to try and be like, come sort stuff out, and then obviously there's other people that they don't care, and it's like, who are you guys? Like, I don't care about all that stuff. Now there's a pandemic and you can't get your artists any shows because you'd rather go and, you know, kiss the ass of the booking agent and stuff like that because you want your booking agent to get you here, but he can't help you right now, can you? Because there's no shows, isn't it? Yeah. Like you can't do nothing. So when I say like Terence. I
was gonna say you must be seeing a lot more calls coming through now. A lot more.
Well, I'm busy, you know, got a day job.
You didn't want to know when I was contacting you. Now you want your royalty.
Yeah, because it's funny because right now, the only way a lot of artists are of probably keeping afloat is the back of house stuff, right?
Yeah.
All the other stuff that they've been doing, because you can't
do shows.
Because you bring out an album, you can't even promote it.
It's crazy, isn't it?
How are you going to promote it via Zoom? Insta live.
Sorry, I don't know. Can you imagine album party on Zoom?
Do you know what I'm trying to say? But guess what? If you bring out an album and it plays on the radio, because radio is not affected, right?
No. Yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're generating royalties, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to get paid.
Only if you're registered.
Exactly. So you're going to get paid from PPL. So during this pandemic, you can still make music and generate revenue, providing you're registered and you've got your PPL stuff on lock. Because what are people doing now? More people are listening to radio, more people are watching TV, more people are engaging with music. But if you ain't got your PPL,
It's pointless. It's pointless.
It's pointless.
So yeah, if you do have like an independent artist, what advice would you give them in terms of trying to get registered for?
Okay, so
royalties?
So to register for PPL is completely free. So the only thing you have to do is commit time.
That's all you got to do.
You say that, but boy, time is
money.
precious. you know, like sometimes when you go, oh yeah, just register, and then because I do it all the time when you need to register for something, and then you see the application form, and you're
text
like, I'll try it. I'll do
that tomorrow.
Do it tomorrow. So with PPL, it's all online. So you go online. There's two types of accounts. So you've got a performer account. So anyone who is a performer, it doesn't mean you have to be the main artist. Anyone can be a performer if you play bass, if you are backing vocalist, if you play a musical instrument. So any sort of musical contribution you do to a recording makes you a performer. Okay. So yeah, it's not just Stormzy that has to register, it's whoever contributes to the song. And then the second is what we call a rights holder account, which the easiest way to say it is a label account. Rights holder is the person who owns
the rights to the song.
So those are the two accounts you have. If you are a label, you do the rights holder account. If you're a performer, you do the performer account. If you're an independent artist and you own all of your stuff yourself, you register a performer account and you register
so you do both.
Both. And then just to get into the splits and how it works, let's just say a track makes £100. 50% of it will go to the person who owns the recording, so that will be the rights holder. Right. So the label. So automatically,
half of your money's gone to the label.
Will go to, which is right, because they own the track. So I assume they paid for the track, they released the track, they did whatever. So
all the marketing.
All the marketing, so they get 50% of it automatically, and then the other 50% is shared amongst the people who contributed to the recording. Okay. However, the main artist gets the bulk, which is like. It all changes as an algorithm depending on if there's a band or whatnot. But generally speaking, the main artist would get like 35%. Okay. And then the other 15 is split amongst whoever did bass or that's why you know like if you hear a track and you just hear some random person screaming, they're getting people away. So if any of you lot got friends that make songs, just go to the booth and go, yeah!
Or like a Rick Ross, what's Rick Ross's one? I can't even do it.
Maybach music or DJ Khaled.
Maybach music.
So there's a reason why DJ Khaled is just.
If anyone wants me to do a voiceover on their song, I am available.
So so as long as you make a musical contribution, even if you're in the studio and you go, and it's on the track and you hear it, you're entitled to.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
so that's why all these groups of people like to go studio together and hang out in the studio with people that are recording. I see, makes sense.
Do you know what's so funny? You probably don't even know that. Now they probably do.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna be coughing like.
Give me my money.
So as long as you make a musical contribution to a song, you're entitled to royalties. So you can have a performer account, and like I said, the main artist, whoever's like the credited artist, like the Beyonce, will get the bulk of the revenue, and then everyone else will get the rest. If you've got multiple people who own the rights, because it might be like me and you are two independent artists, we release a track, but we both say we own it 50-50. So then when you go to register your ownership, from a label level, you would say you own 50% of it, and then I will say I own the other 50%. So you can imagine how like a lot of disagreements, a lot of people fall out, because part of my job is also dealing with what we call disputes, where people are claiming they own this or the percentages are wrong, or just make sure as an artist, if you're independent, you register to have your own label to your own label account. In terms of how you would register the track, once you set up, well, I think the other process is, if you're registered as a performer, you have to register as you as an individual, your government. I can't register as fireman.
Sorry, is that your like MC? Fireman.
Back in the day,
But you had to register as your actual name.
Your
birth certificate.
Yeah, and you have to show ID evidence, and we store all of that stuff, all of that data. So we need to know, all your official government name. So when you do see all these artists, they've had to register using their
government names.
Their government name. And then once you're set up and you need to register a track, you don't necessarily have to register the track. So some people think that you have to send us the track. We ask for basic information from the track. So the name of the track, the artist, and then something that we call an ISRC code.
Okay, I was going to ask, there must be like unique codes for every single track in the world.
So if you're a label with PPL, you get an ISRC code, which is unique to your label, and then you can generate as many as you like. So we give you like the first 5 digits, and then you can make infinity numbers. Yeah. So that ISRC code is really important. The ISRC code is like it's like the song's passport number, because when that song is played, so when you master a track, you master the ISRC code. So when you give it to radio, when you give it to streaming, wherever, when your data is being inputted, they input the ISRC code. So when we get reporting from BBC, they'll say, oh, the track Hello was played with this ISRC code, because as you can imagine, there might be a million hellos. Yeah. So how do I know it's your hello?
Hello. Sorry. It's just when we're singing that, sorry.
Nah, there might be a million hellos, but
so you've got to have a unique code.
So and that's another thing that a lot of artists don't really realise as well, is like when I might just go and make a track now, and then I haven't mastered my track properly, so I just go and distribute it to radio and stuff like that. So it's harder for us to link it if we don't have that
code. Okay.
So once you get that code, you just input that data into you have like your own, think of it like when you go to online banking and all that stuff, it's something similar like that. It's like your own portal. So you just input it, name, the year it was made, who performed on it, just general data stuff. And that's why I say that's the part that sometimes
people can't be bothered with.
Yeah, especially I tend to find it's the independent labels that probably struggle a bit more with it, because it's a lot of time consuming, because and not because they don't want to do it, but you can only imagine you're an independent label, so you've got so many hats that you have to already wear. So to then sit there and input that data,
it's a bit much.
Yeah,
well, unless you've got someone in admin.
That's why you should hire an intern, isn't it?
Yeah,
make them do it for free, isn't it?
I want to ask you about, people, let's say for example, there's quite a few people, especially in the urban grime scene, that have been banned from making music. So if you're banned from making music, which is like a legal ban from the government, and you've got a track out there, will you still get your royalties?
Yeah, if it's registered.
Okay.
So if that's what I'm saying, because the royalties, like, it's your legal right. So if I made a track and then I got banned, as long as my track's already out there, if radio wants to play it, that's on radio, isn't it?
So if you've made a track after you've been banned, will you still get royalties for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But however,
you'll get in trouble though.
No, you have to question, like, if you're banned, why is the radio station playing your track? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because if BBC, like, we deal with official, we don't deal with pirate radio, so obviously it's pirate radio and they don't pay us for playing music, but we get from radio. So if you've been banned and BBC and Choice and everyone, Kiss, still want to play your track, then you're going to get paid. Like, we don't, actually it's your right, innit? If your track makes money, we pay on to you if you're banned or not. So, yeah.
So you sound, I mean, just talking to you, you're really passionate about what you do. It sounds like you love your job.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, like, obviously I know, talk to us about how you got into this and...
Do you know what, it's...
Because Because I met you in Topshop in retail.
Yeah.
It's a completely different role.
I know, right? I was what was I doing? I was like a fraud investigator.
Yeah, you was, wasn't you?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of fraud going on.
God bless her. It's not here no more, innit?
Yeah, no,
God bless
it's
Topshop,
not.
innit? Rest in
R.I.P.
peace. But yeah, do you know what it is? I think I've always loved music. Like till this day, all I do is listen to music, and I think I don't really stick with one genre, isn't it? Like I get that.
You've got some different artists that you've introduced me to as well.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like people,
eclectic artists.
and people like have this perception, like they look at me and think, oh yeah, you like rap and grime and da 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 da. And sometimes I sit here and I'd be like, yeah, what about this country star or this? I was listening to South African house, or I was listening to some K-pop. Like, I'm talking to people about J-pop and K-pop, and they're just like, oh, you know. I'm like, yeah, like what? Sorry, should I only talk to you about Tupac and Stormzy? Do you guys know what I'm saying? So like, I've always liked music, isn't it? Like, obviously, I'd say my main genre is like American rap. Like, I love like your J. Cole, your Kendricks. Yeah. That's my genre. But when it comes to music, I listen to everything, and like I found that at a very, very early age that I was not musically talented. like you know, like back in the day in school, like. When you used to be in the
you trying to MC
and you know you just bang the drum like doom, 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 doom. Like go on to you, drop some bars. I'm like, yeah, so I came to school.
Sorry. Oh my god, how embarrassing. But to be fair, I understand I am not musically talented either.
So from then I was like, you know, like, I'm not even like, yeah, cool. I'm not even gonna pretend like that's for me.
Not gonna try.
Yeah, I knew.
It's not for everybody.
It's not. But you know, there's some people making music that like,
even though it's not for them.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I don't think this is for you, big man. Like, but they're still doing it. So I
do your thing.
Do your thing, innit? But for me, I knew from. Even though I had musical people around me, I was like, I can't even force it because it's just fake, innit? Because then I'm gonna have to pretend to be
something that I'm not.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Even now, like, that's my basis for rapping. Like your chest, innit? Yeah. But yeah, so I knew from an early age, like I was like, yeah, music's not for me. I can't rap. I can't produce. Like, I can barely play piano. Like, I can play Three Blind Mice on the recorder.
Oh, that's cute.
But yeah, like I said, not music.
Special talent.
Yeah, not musically. So for me, I thought, if I got, like, how else can I work in music? Because I'm passionate about it. And to be honest with you, like I didn't really think I would work in music.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I didn't know these type of roles existed. Because I thought to work in music, I have to be an artist, a manager, a producer, a tour manager, and I think I to be honest, I went into like education and working with kids and stuff like that, and then ended up in Topshop, and then after Topshop, I saw the role. I didn't even know what it was. Like, I started my company coming in to make sure that all the artists were getting their US tax. That was my first role in my company. So I wasn't even doing what I was doing. Because our company is so big, there's so many different areas, licensing, everything. So I got into it as an admin role. Okay. I was just an admin assistant, making sure that, you know, calling up managers going, your artist hasn't filled out their US tax form, can you get them to, that was my job.
Yeah.
And then it just went from there, and then I learned what the company did, then I got more interested in, then I learned, and then I just moved up, like I said, 6 years.
Did they give you any courses to learn, or did you just learn on the job?
You learn on the job. It's one of those, like, I work in a company where it's very hard to find the equivalent in a different company because of what we do, what other company does.
What you do.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's, like I said, it's a transferable skill. So like I said, I started off doing a lot of the admin stuff, but you can just see what skill sets I had that where I could transition, and I've just grown ever since. And that's why I said, like, you don't have to study music or be musical. Like when I talk to some students, they're like, oh yeah, I'm not an artist or anything. However, I'm gonna do study music management or music business. I'm like, no,
you don't have to.
No, I went to uni and did media and culture. You know what I'm saying? I went to Roehampton, I did media and culture, so I didn't even study music.
Yeah.
So I guess, like I said, it's for me, everything kind of just fell into place. And just, do you know, like I said, I'm really lucky and really blessed because, like I said, where I work, like there's not many people that look like me where I work. So to even be given the opportunity to try and
do this role,
it's
fantastic.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and like I said, it's
an accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's 100% an accomplishment, and I think, you know, for us at SofaTalks, we looked at your profile, we looked at all the stuff that you do, and we were just so excited to get you on here to listen to all the things. You've got so much to say, Terence, and so much,
I know.
so much to educate people on, which is really important. You know, a lot of people won't understand any of the things that we've been discussing today. So I think it's been a really beneficial interview, and I'm just really pleased that you had time to come here today.
And like I always, I know I was saying that people hit me up and I'm like, but like, and anyone knows if you reach out to me and want to understand about what I do or your own situation with music, like I always find time. Like it might not be straight away because you know,
got a life as well.
But I always find time for people because, like I said, it's like I said, I think within music, especially with this whole Black Lives Matter movement that came out, and then the Blackout Tuesday stuff.
Yeah.
Was a music thing. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It was like a lot of labels and sorry, I wasn't not saying it was a music thing, but a lot of the music industry were like, we're gonna go with this. Even our company, we were like, we're gonna, and I think from what's come out from that is like the importance that like black culture has on music. Do you know what I'm saying? And for me, you see what black artists, not even just UK artists, but just black artists in general have given to music. Because I saw something where it was like rock and roll originated from black person.
Of course it did.
Like blues, everything.
All originated
from black people. So why is it that like black artists within music don't know about what they're entitled to?
They don't have the knowledge of understanding what they're entitled to.
Yeah, and like I said, it could go deeper because I don't even want to even talk about like the Jamaican artists, the Caribbean artists, and the African artists who like to this day like not seeing any of their royalties because people are taking it all.
I wonder if Vibes Cartel. I don't know why he just came to my mind. I was like, he's sitting there in prison. Just wondering if he's got his royalties. Okay, cool. They're good. Vibes is good. We're good.
But yeah, like you know, and that's what I'm trying to say, and that's what really irks me is like there's a lot of like black artists that are just not getting what's owed to them, and some of it is because they don't know. Like I had like I made a film with a Jamaican artist who lives in Jamaica, and I remember helping him because he didn't know about PPR or anything. So literally, again, like I said, it's not my role in it, but I thought, do you know what, like let's try and helped him, did all this stuff. When he got paid, no lie, the guy called me from Jamaica to thank me, and then he put his wife on the phone, and his wife was like, yeah, because of this money, you know, we could send our kids to good schools, and do you know what I'm trying to say? And that's only because, not that he didn't know, it's just that there's no one there to
guide.
Because he told me that his manager, who isn't from like us, just took all his money. Do you know what I'm saying? Make him sign things. The guy didn't even know he had signed up to PPL because he just signing things. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So a lot of people are taking advantage of a lot of artists that don't know, and it just so happens to be a lot of these artists that are being taken advantage of are some of the older Jamaican artists and some of the older African artists. Look how big reggae is, man.
Yeah.
Everybody listens to reggae.
Yeah.
But why do I see reggae artists that like are struggling, but their music's played all the time?
And even you know, if you think about like mainstream TV, ITV, BBC, they actually play reggae a lot.
All the time.
Even adverts. Yeah. A lot of reggae is played in those adverts. So it's interesting that they probably do not see those royalties. Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. So for me, like I said, it's I just wish there was more people in this space, because then the more people we have in the space, the more we can help artists. Yeah. And then artists can then put themselves
in a position to be better artists, and they don't have to worry about silly things. You know what I'm trying to say? And the reason why I use like the Stormzy and Dave example and stuff is because their stuff's patterned, isn't it? They're at, because they know this stuff, they're at a level where they're able to just, they don't need to do certain things for clout or to show up. I'm sure Stormzy doesn't even have social media, do you know what I'm trying to say? Whereas you see other artists, because they're not really patterned or they don't understand this, they look to do other silly stuff. To just keep their names always going because they think if my name disappears, or if no one ain't talking about me, then I'm not going to be relevant, which means I'm not going to be able to eat. When guess what? You can be silent and eat. But they don't know how to do that. So they do bare stupidness. And I want to shave bar every day.
There's certain artists that come into my mind when you say that. But
that's what I'm saying. We all know because they just
they're always on UK Gossip TV or Shave Bar.
There's never. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And it's like they do that because they feel like that's how they eat. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because they feel like I need to be relevant for people to notice me and see me, so that I can eat and be in people's forefront, so people will stream my music. Well, you don't. Just go enjoy yourself, man. Just chill and sort your back of office out, and you'll be nice.
Thank you, Terence.
No worries, man.
Like I said, you've given us so much information today. I'm pretty sure there will be some people after watching this that will contact you.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Hopefully for that, those roles that you've got in your business.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then possibly for some advice as well. So, but yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
It's a pleasure having me, man.
It was a pleasure to meet you as always. And thank you for another episode of SofaTalks. Take care. Bye.